I will explain philosophy of Ayn Rand in this video. What is objectivism, what is selfishness, altruism, and how it is connected to economics. My name is Yana Matviychuk, I live in Ukraine and I give lectures about philosophy of Ayn Rand in Ayn Rand Center Ukraine.
I will feel myself as Ayn Rand because she was speaking English with accent, with Russian accent. I saw one of her interviews on YouTube of 1959, and she was at the time already 30 years in US, and she still was speaking with Russian accent. So I feel comfortable in this topic with my kind of language. We will talk today about two things, economics and politics. First election is about economics, first of all, because I think it's easier than talk about politics in objectivism. You will understand why later. Why you need exactly economics and to understand the philosophy of Ayn Rand, how she was thinking about economics. Why you need this? I think at the end of the lecture, you will understand this why. Now I will not open all the secrets. Generally, if to speak a little bit about objectivism as it is, so this is the way to rationally achieve rational goals. So we talk about mind, we talk about rational decisions, and as soon as I know your agenda, you already heard the lections about objectivism, yes, about this fundament of philosophy of Ayn Rand. So today I will repeat probably some things that you already heard, but some of these things is important to repeat in connection with economics. So a little bit about myself. I started business in 2004. I started business when I had only $300 in my pocket, and I worked really hard. Now I have few businesses. It's already almost 20 years. But first business that I started, this is creative agency RNCS, and it's still working, and it's one of the best on the market. I tell you this proudly because I think that business in Ukraine has a very important role because we have very little percentage of people who make business in Ukraine. Most of the people are working for government. We will talk about it today. And this is a huge problem. So I think first heroes of Ukraine today is our army and all the volunteers, and then of course business, because money, business is money, and we need money today to win the war. So when I started business, I worked very hard first almost 10 years, because as I understand that, as I understood from my practice, you need to work hard at least 10 years to make your business on some strong position. So it was 2013, 1 week before the revolution in November started, and I started my YouTube channel, Business Arena. Because in one moment I understood that I cannot just work hard. I need to find people who also working hard. And I need to understand, do I wrong or I'm right working like this, you know? And this channel was, everybody was laughing because what you will do? You will take interview with businessmen who will watch this. In 2013, it was not an interesting topic at all. But I started, and my first goal was to make 100 interviews with business of my friends, with people just I will see in mass media who are making business in Ukraine independently, not with government connections, etc. I started it, and in a few years I really did 100 interviews. And during this period, many YouTube channels started, and the culture of business, you know, business in mass media, it became very popular. So I think it's really great because Ayn Rand was proud of us that we, after 30 years of independence, we finally started to talk about the importance of the business. So this is my RNCS. But we will talk about economics. I will read from time to time a little bit my slides. You can also read, because many slides, especially in the second lecture, it will be the quotes of Ayn Rand. And it's interesting to see how she was formulating her thoughts very compact, with few words, but very important thoughts. So what is economics? What we're going to talk about? This is social science about production, distribution, consumption of goods and services, and how economic agents, people, connect between each other. Yeah, how it goes, how it happens. Before we start to talk about economics a little bit, I want to remind you the elements of philosophy of objectivism. Probably you already know this, but I insist to repeat, because when you repeat many times, you remember better. So there is two main elements. First one is individual rights. Every person has right first to his life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. Not happiness, but pursuit of happiness. And second one is limited government. Limited government is about our state, and Ayn Rand was talking that only functions of government is to protect rights according to objective law. In Ukraine, I will show you later, we have not limited government, we have unlimited government. And this is a very big problem for us. Not everybody understands this. That's why we, with the Institute of Ayn Rand, we are talking about this philosophy. Actually, I'm sure that philosophy of Ayn Rand is a fundament, a very rational, very easy fundament to understand what is going on today in reality. How our minds are confused with all these notions, понятия, with all these notions. So we need to remember, every time we talk about economics, these two things, individual rights and limited government. Ayn Rand was talking about a lot about freedom. It's very in English. She was a little bit talking with the Russian accent. I told her she was even writing a little bit with Russian accent. So sometimes we will see her quotes in some. No, to my opinion, it's a little bit how we would say it. Yes, with our own language. What is most important, her quote is that every person has a natural right. A right, what is right? Right is that which everyone can be exercised without anyone's permission. So like we cannot use our power to force person to do something. But also we cannot force or admit or allow anyone else to force us to do something. And in this connection, we will talk about economics. So what it means for economics, yes? How is this force, not to force someone? What is this in economics?
Subscribe to my channel. I give more lectures about philosophy of Ayn Rand.
After Ayn Rand started her philosophy, many people started, of course, to talk about it. And you know that libertarians also was born together with Ayn Rand. All this philosophy started in the 19th century, but anyway, together it was developing. Ayn Rand didn't like libertarians, and she a little bit was in front, like aside of that. But libertarians admit that without Ayn Rand, there was no libertarianism. And that's why I want to tell you now three main principles of libertarianism. And I again repeat that we will see how in economics these notions work. First principle of libertarianism is self-ownership. Who remember what is? You remember what is self-ownership? Or no? You was talking about this in these lections. Tell me yes or no. Self-ownership, when a person has right to his own life, to his own body. No one can tell him what to do. To drink alcohol, not to drink alcohol, to live or to die. This is personal attitude, personal right to his own body and life. This is self-ownership. But also, there is a property that person is making. When person is making property in a free environment, with any force of any person, didn't take ownership for anyone, but everything is according to agreements. So this person has rights to the property, to private property, and no one cannot take this private property. This is all about freedom. So she was trying, Ayn Rand, when was talking about these two principles also, she was trying to show everybody what is freedom of a person and how does it go. And everybody would say, oh, it means you can do whatever you want. And she was putting some borders. You can use your freedom as much as your freedom doesn't force any other's freedom. So this is very important. It was not unlimited freedom, but it was, she was talking about right of a person, if to talk about economics, to create things. When we talk about self-ownership, private property, and economics, it means you can open any business as you want, and no one would, should allow you something. You want to open small cafe, big IT company, etc. No one should allow you. You just already have this right to open any business. And third principle of libertarianism is limited government. Again, a limited government is limited functions of the government. We will talk more in details what it means, but if to talk about Ayn Rand's ideas, a government cannot make commercial activity. Government cannot have enterprises, companies in the same field where government is making rules, making laws, control the situation, and also produce and sell. It cannot be. It's a conflict of interests. This is what we see exactly now in Ukraine, almost in every field. Just to go a little bit back to 19th century, there is a very great guy, maybe you heard, Friedrich Bastiat, French parliamentarian, French. But someone heard Bastiat? He wrote a book, What We See and What We Don't See. There is already a Ukrainian translation. But what is interesting in that book? It's 1850 year when it was written, and he say, he was in the argument with other politicians in France about customs and the taxes. And he was talking why government is telling us how many taxes we need to pay. For him it was how it can be. If we want to bring from abroad some products, we should bring it, not to pay taxes to government. Why? He couldn't understand why it should be. And he was warning everybody that, okay, today government is going into taxation, and just imagine if tomorrow government will work in education, in medicine, if government will start making hospitals, or it will go to mass media. You understand? Today, we have all this, government in all these directions. This is more about, if someone wants to read in details what means these three principles. But we will go to free market. Another very important notion of Ayn Rand is free market. We all talk about free market all the time, and many people think that in Ukraine or even in Europe or in US there is a free market. But this is not very much true. Interesting that I had once a meeting with Finland prime minister, former Finland prime minister, and I told him, it was like 1 year ago, help me to educate people about free market and limited government in Ukraine, because we have completely unlimited government and we don't have free market. He was very much confused and it's not possible. You went out from USSR 30 years ago. And you want to tell me that still you don't have free market and you didn't change your government system, ministries, departments, you didn't reform it? He said, I don't believe you. I think you don't understand something in your politics. Okay, but we will see today how much he doesn't understand what is going on in Ukraine. But first of all, we need to talk about free market. What is this? Free market is a market in which government regulation and intervention have no effect on the relationship between supply and demand. So it means government doesn't go into prices, no control on prices. Government doesn't go as a chain between producers and the customers. We don't need officials to be an extra chain between us. I want to sell you something, you buy. I don't need officials that will give me license to sell you, will give license for you to buy from me. But in many situations in Ukraine, mostly, we see the officials interfere all the time in our relationship between producer and the customer. Funny thing now is going on in Ukraine that officials think how to put taxes to couriers of Glovo. You know that there are in Kiev, there are a lot of, no, yeah, I talk about Kiev. There are a lot of couriers of Glovo. And at least 100 of them don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes. But they earn not so much. Maybe, I don't know, 20,000 hryvnias they earn. And officials in Kiev say that we need to take taxes from them at least 200 hryvnias per courier. If to calculate, okay, we have maybe 10,000 couriers who don't pay taxes, for example. 200 hryvnias per each courier per month, it's 2 million hryvnias taxes, not a lot. But to take these taxes and to control that people would pay these taxes would cost government much more. For example, if to control 10,000 couriers, we need at least 100 officials. Who will control them? Instruments, how to do it, some regulations, etc. These 100 people need salary. I don't think that officials will work for not a lot, at least 30,000 hryvnias. So if to calculate only salary, 100 officials, it's 3 million hryvnia salary for them per month to take 2 million of taxes. And this is a problem of our government. They don't calculate expenses, never. Because what Ayn Rand was talking about government, about economics, that it should be effective. Because she was rational. Rational achievements, how to rationally achieve rational goals. The example of couriers, courier, yeah? Delivery guys, yes. It's not rational, just let people make money. Why people go to delivery, to work as delivery guy? 10,000, mostly men, work as delivery because they need money. They need how much they will, 20,000 hryvnias they will earn. So this is a small example, the one that we can understand now in our head because it's very close to us. We know who is this delivery guy. And the example when it's not effective, it's not rational to take taxes from these people. And this is economics. We don't need, I ask this guy to bring me food. I pay him money. I don't need officials here. Why I need? I don't know. I paid taxes from this money. I earned it already. So it's this is what she was talking about all the time. But that time in America, government was not so unlimited how it is in Ukraine now. And I have this canister of fuel, because if you remember, we had the crisis in the beginning of war. We had crisis with fuel. Why? Because our officials, like Getmansev, interfered in prices. He said, you cannot sell, first he interfered, you cannot sell more than this price, first thing. And then he, even now, they said to all other people, you cannot sell fuel at all. Like me, for example, I cannot go abroad, take my big canister and bring some fuel to my neighbors and sell. I cannot. It was even a period when citizens of Ukraine couldn't have more than 20 liters of fuel at home. Why? In this world, why? So this is unlimited government. Yeah, but you can put a general rule how to keep it safely. Not no, 20 liters is the same dangerous as 40. The same danger, the same. Even small 1 liter is the same danger if you just don't know how to behave with it. But here is, they don't think about your safety. They think about money. They think only about money. And so you couldn't sell this to other people and to earn something that they will not control. Don't confuse. When you, this is what she was talking about. She was talking about that bureaucracy, officials, they don't think about your safety. This is a very important difference in philosophy. They think only about money, first for them as officials. It's two different worlds, private sector and sector of government officials. And at the end of these two lections, I will show you how our mind today, completely confused with all this 50 years after Ayn Rand put her philosophy out. During these 50 years, our mind confused from these rational ideas and put far away. And this is very important. But your question is very good, really, because this is typical question of typical person, typical citizen. Okay, but we will come back to free market. We talk about not only safety, we talk about free market as well. So the case with fuel, it was about selling fuel, first of all. The most important that any person, for example, now, even not to your house to bring fuel. You couldn't buy a big canistra, like 1 ton, and to bring to your friends and sell to make money. You couldn't. It was completely not allowed. And government would say, what if this guy with this 1 ton of fuel would bring bad fuel? Without control. And this is how they manipulate with us. But this fuel, maybe one time this guy would bring bad fuel and would sell it to his friends. What do you think? Next morning, after tractor guy would come with bad fuel to work on the field, what he will do with this neighbor who sold him this fuel? Don't think that government would make your decisions more safety and would care about your safety. She was talking about self-responsibility, self-interest, self-responsibility. And this is all on you, individualism. We're talking about this a lot. Don't be in bulbashka, in the bubble of collectivism. We will talk about this next lecture. It's good. Okay, signs of a free market. The number of buyers and sellers is so large that the actions of one of them cannot affect the market price. This is very important, because when we have many people who sell fuel, market price will go down because of competition. This is which problem we had when we had the crisis of fuel, because there was no competition. And government was controlling even prices in the small quantity of these competitors, like 5 fuel monopolies. Second sign of a free market is entry and exit of buyers to the market is free. So if we're already talking about example with fuel, free entrance to the market. So this poor guy who wants to bring 1 ton of fuel, he has to have a right to do it. This is free market. When you can, with any quantity, you don't have to be OCO or VOG to bring fuel. You can have small, one place where you sell it and you bring 1 ton of fuel and you sell it to other people. This is the entrance to the market. We can talk here about licenses, etc., many things to understand what is free market. But today government interferes all the time, and entrance to the government to the market becomes more and more limited. It looks like it's easy to come into market, but when you start to open business, you have to have licenses for almost every business. But of course, Ayn Rand and libertarians, they think about our safety. Don't think that we don't think about safety. It should be government control, like control of officials, public control for businesses that from which are people's life can be damaged. Medicine, for example, some food industry. Yeah, it should be some control, etc. Why? Because for Ayn Rand, the best is the most important value of all is what? It's people's life. This is the most important. So everything that can damage person's life should be or controlled or limited. So, for example, but we today need a touristic license for touristic business. Why? No, it's completely stupid. Because if a touristic agency give you bad service, it can happen. What you will do? You will not go there anywhere another time. You will tell all your friends, all your family. You will write post in Facebook. Don't go there. So finish. Agency finished. But we actually talking about already important things, because Ayn Rand is there is fundamental notions that you need to understand to make your own opinion in all these cases. So the third sign of free market, this is information is equally available to all market participants. It means information, how to go to the market, how many people on the market working, how many businesses, how many clients, which licenses or etc. you need to receive. And there is no any like monopoly agreements with other gamers on the market. So you have information and you go to the market. 3 signs. This is important quote, I will read it, okay? And explain you later. Ayn Rand was talking about capitalism all the time. And capitalism now is under big danger. Many people want to destroy it. But she already 50 years ago was protecting it. So, always focusing on the creative mind, Rand believes that the main driver of the economy is not the consumer, not demand, but the innovator, supply. Unlike imitators, those attempt to cater to what they think is the public's taste. Innovators constantly raise the public's knowledge and taste to ever higher levels, even if it takes time to the public to realize the value of the product. This is Steve Jobs, exactly. He was talking like this, like you don't, smartphone, what is this? No one wanted it. No one understood what is this. But he said, no, this cool stuff, I'm an innovator, here you will buy, everybody will buy it. This is people who move the market forward, not demand. This is what she say about capitalism, that you don't need to play with customers. Like, you want this? Okay, take it. You want this? Take it. No. Market and economy is moved forward only by people who innovate, who make something new value, and that's how more money is made on the market. Okay, everything is very interesting, but let's move forward a little bit about theory, because I was invited to talk only about theory, not about practice. I said, why not practice? Better theory. Because to understand practice, you need to understand the fundament of these principles.